Tonight, we are going to be reviewing Tokyo Extreme Racers Early Access. It's been probably the best early access experience I've had. Granted, that's been very limited. Let's hop back into where I left off. This is your garage. This is kind of where you have your cars. But if you go over to dealer, as of right now, I've unlocked quite a bit of cars here. You'll see that I have Suzuki. Behind my image here, I have Suzuki, Subaru, Daihatsu, Toyota, Nissan, Mazda, and then custom. Now, customs are like when you beat the bosses, you can then have access to buy their cars, which is really cool. Comes with delivery on it and everything. This is the Toyota 86 GT. And he'll even show you the engine type in the car, which is really cool. I really appreciate that. This is the NCP 31. I mean, it's pretty detailed. Then you go over to collection. This is kind of your collection of cars. Now, you have to be careful here because if I go to, let's say I go over here to select my Mazda Roadster, if I hit A again, it will try to sell in the bottom corner. It'll try to sell the car. If you hit A again too quickly, it's sold and you're done. So you got to be real careful there. Now, they do have the older Roadsters too. They have the NB. This is the ND. I haven't dug too much into the other Roadsters that they have here, but they definitely have a lot of different Mazdas in this game. You can also change. What's really cool is, just like the original game, it kind of forced you to create a plate. This is very much how it was in the old ways, you know? Music, real quick. The music has been so cool. A lot of it is from the original games, just brought right back. Nostalgia just right up through the floor. The last one I played was over 20 years ago when it came out, so it's been a long time coming. Reference, this is so like when you beat racers, they'll pop up in this list here. So these are different clans here, right? The Rolling Guy clan, the Fresh Market, Phase X. You can then read information about said racer and their car. There's so much lore in this. It's unreal. Now, I will say some of the funniest parts of the game right now have to be the translations. Now, in the past, Crave, they did all the translations, right? This is coming directly from Genki. This is a sole Genki product solely. This is only them. So all these translations and everything, some of them are a bit rough, but it just makes it so much better. And you'll see more like when I go to a parking area. Some of the names of some of the people are hilarious. Yeah, so if I go here to Rampaging Barrel and I click details, it'll pull up their car and you can take a look at it. You can look at, oh yeah, that they had to write a huge script. Yeah, 20 years is a long time. But you can see it shows you their displacement, their max power. So you can try to replicate that if there's a car that was really had good handling or whatever. They also have, more information about the name of the driver, what they do. They're a bartender, this guy. He's on red pollution, and your win-loss ratio against them. That's pretty cool. You could filter through them this way. Like this is a nice looking, GTR V-Spec 2, the BNR 32 engine. It's super intuitive and super cool. We have segments. These are cool little areas in the map where you can, let's say the upbound area, there are certain sectors where you can hit a record for how fast you were going or how long it took you to go through a certain sector. So you have sectors, you have speed traps as well. There's more to come as well. As you can see that tab over there. Now, there is no mention of online play as of right now. It is not out of the question. It's just not their focus at the moment. Their focus at the moment is to make this game so polished, add tons and tons of content. That's the reference page. Now, if you go to perks, this is interesting. So when you race people, you don't just earn credits, you earn B points. Now, B points can be used in a multitude of ways. If you go into perks, you have your driver level, which essentially it unlocks certain features and abilities, right? So if I go up to here, you can see this one increases my attack power, enhancing damage dealt to opponents. So I'll explain the damage dealt part because you're kind of like, what? Maybe I don't understand, but I'll explain that in a minute if you're new to the series. Defensive increases your defensive power. So like if you're taking damage, reducing that. And you can kind of do this as you go on to increase your driver level abilities. Now, under skill, these are things you can select your skill in the menu before you go into the course. This is cool. So perks is different. So this isn't like, oh, you can now go 5 miles an hour faster in the first 3 seconds of a race. No, it's not that. This is essentially opening up. You can have a bigger wallet. It's like, you ever play Zelda and you can only carry so many rupees until you find a bigger rupee purse? That's kind of what this is. And then you can also get a garage that now holds up to 7 machines. Just kind of those kind of perks in that sense. So it's perk is not the best translation, but it's more of just unlocking abilities, I should say. Machine, this is where you don't start with Lar cars. You start with 3 cars you could choose from. I will say, when you start this game, keep in mind, Tokyo Xtreme Racer starts very slow cars. It might be a little numbing at first because you're not getting that sense of speed, but that's all part of the business with this game. Because as you start to upgrade, you start to notice big improvements very quickly, and you can unlock cars this way. This is with the B points you earn on the course. So when you're on the course racing around, you'll earn credits and B points. You come back here, unlock more cars. You can use your credits to buy the cars. You can use the credits to do more tuning or aero designs. Now, if I go over to tuning, there's another thing. You don't have access to all the levels of engines off the bat. Like in Gran Turismo, for instance, you can play, you finish so many menu books and you unlock, professional and then racing and then extreme and then, those kind of tiers as you play. This is similar, only you use your B points to unlock them. So B points work for each one of these tabs. So it creates this sense of decision making as to what you find more important. Let's say I just want to tune my car up and just go as fast as possible and want to run one car the entire time. You can do that. Or you can be like, maybe I want several cars. I want to take my time with the game. I want to be able to get certain perks and save up money and have a bunch of machines. You could do that too. So it kind of gives the ability to make that decision making on your own, how you want to play the game. And I appreciate that quite a bit. There are some things about this screen as well. You will need to unlock them. To unlock them, it requires beating certain drivers. So for instance, if I go down to, let's say I want to get a new clutch or a new brake system, I have to go find Cinderella Past Midnight. That racer, if I go beat them, then it'll unlock that, and then I can use B points to purchase it. So these tiers, when you unlock them, it unlocks across the board. So whatever vehicles you have, you don't have to go through and re-unlock all this. That would be super tedious to do that for every car. Forza did that. It didn't work out well for them. So I'm glad they went the Gran Turismo way, where if you unlock it for one car, you can get it for any car if you have the credits for it. Tuning, this is kind of where you go through and you update your car. Now, this isn't the settings of the car. I'll get to that in a second, but essentially this is, let's say I unlocked power unit level 4. It'll show you how much they cost, right? The engine units. Intake system. So this is where you would essentially soup up your car. This is running on PC right now. It's on Steam currently. It's not on PlayStation 5 yet, but it is in the plans to get it to PlayStation, to get it to consoles. PlayStation specifically, I don't know about other consoles, but it is in the plans. They just want to make sure you get this early access out on PC so they can develop the game fully and then release it on consoles. That's as far as I know so far. That's the immediate plans. There are plans beyond that, but they haven't shared that with us yet. So, settings. This is like, again, so this is, let's say I want to raise the rear to be a little bit higher, right? I can go here, I can raise the back end, and it works immediately. It's your alignment. You can do that with your brakes, with your analog brake system, your brake balance, front or back, your differential if you want to have it two-way or whichever. You can change the initial torque, the ratios, the spring rate, the damper, the balance, the gear ratios for each gear, including the final ratio. So, I mean, it's as extensive as you want to get it, right? It's so funny because they spend so much time making it giving you the ability to do all these things with a car, but then it's an arcade racer, you know? If you're upset that it's not a sim, sorry, this isn't the game for you. But it's very customizable in the way you can get it to exactly how you want it. I think it's really cool. Now we're gonna go to arrow here. Looks like I might have unlocked some new arrows. So, but with the bonnet, like let's say you don't want something like this, you want something a little more less carbon fibery, or something with different. You can do all sorts of stuff here. So change. Oh, this is a front bumper. You do side skirts, rear bumpers, wings. I mean, all sorts of cool little goodies here. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm purchase of those new rims. There we go. Livery editor. Now, when it comes to liveries, this game needs a lot of work. But if I go to vinyl body here and I want to put something else, like add a new one, and let's put it on the right side, okay? And let's say I want to unlock rival emblems you can put on the car, and you can drag them different places. It's on PC, so I'm assuming you can. I'm assuming there's a folder where these files are located that you can drag and drop them to. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to console, but right now I think it is possible to throw them in the same folder as these here, as long as they're the same file type. It is a little frustrating because I wanted to put Night Run on the side, but if I go to letter, you'll see here there are no letters. Spelled out numbers like 8, 9, and so forth. It is kind of frustrating. You could choose the color. You could choose between going fully metallic or pearlescent into matte, but the problem is placing it. There's no quick duplicate to the other side. You'd have to figure out where it is placed on each side. I think they are going to update it at some point because I have been providing a lot of feedback on that, and it was passed back to the devs and they've been looking at it. So I don't know, based on my feedback, if it's going to help at all, but hopefully we see some changes, because it would take a very long time to put in a livery as detailed as the ones we get like on Gran Turismo, for instance. These are your options, typical options, your game settings, your graphic settings. It allows you to adjust your frames, V-Sync and whatnot. But these are kind of your settings here. Sound settings are very limited. It's just, you can't change your audio source you're using. But it is nice to be able to adjust background music, sound effects, car volume and whatnot. You can set up for how you drive with the wheel. You can set up for how you use the menus with the wheel. So it is very nice in that sense. Now that is all root menu stuff, right? Now let's go into the garage. If you plan on going out all night and being out there for a long time, you're going to want to run hards. They'll last a lot longer. Softs won't last as long, but you're going to if you're struggling with an opponent, the softs will help you get around those corners that you might struggle with. Medium is what I usually run. It's kind of a happy middle. You could choose your perk that you want. If you have another one here, like if you want to use this one for earning more credits for every distance traveled. This is the full map. As of right now, this is the full map. So you have the C1, you have the longer routes, and then you even have the Wangan highway here, which is pretty cool. Over here on this side, this is your objectives here to be able to complete. If you're looking for a specific rival too, you can go down to the list and find the rival you want. Let's say I want to go up against Golden Steer. Boom, there he is. I can zoom in on him and say, there he is. I can go ahead and hop in this route, right? Now, you'll notice there's arrows pointing in directions. If you launch at these locations, it will launch you in that direction. Keep in mind, there is no flipping a Yui in this game. If you want to flip a Yui, you have to end up at one of these parking stations here, and then you can go back out the other direction. If you want to go the other way and you're super far from a parking area, you don't want to deal with it, you can just go back to the garage and then relaunch somewhere else. But there is no U-turn sections in the game at all. You'll notice as well, there's little time segments here for different areas if you want to go try to beat your last score. There's also these speed traps. This is someone who I've lost to. This is someone who I've not raced yet. Green means I've beaten them. Now this one here, it has like just a triangle. That's a wanderer, meaning they're going to be a lot harder, and most of them have requirements to be able to race them. So right here, there's not a lot of force feedback here, but as you turn in more, you can feel a lot. It's more like, it feels like a rubber band. This is bumper cam with a rear view mirror. This is your hood cam, no rear view mirror, which I wish it did have one. This is chase view from far. Chase view close. This one's pretty fun. When you get to high speeds, though, it does make it a little bit difficult to see, because your car starts to porpoise quite a bit. Your headlights, you want to flash them, and then you go to the race. So there is no damage model right now. The cars don't take any damage. But when you challenge somebody, you come up on them. Now, up top, you see those 2 bars? Those are your health bars. Now, if they pull away from you 25 yards or more, your health will start to deplenish. The faster they're going, the faster your health bar will deplenish. The farther they are, the faster your health bar will deplenish. So if they start pulling away from you and getting far from you, you're going to go real fast. Now, if you hit a car, you will take damage on your health bar. If they hit a car, they'll take theirs. It's all about just trying to have a clean race and trying to just gap them, essentially. Well, let's go. This guy's gapping me, dude. We use some NOS here. Oh, shoot. Okay, he stays on the C1. It's also the style of game, right? So I will say this is a game of its time, and the art style of it, the graphics reflect that for sure. I'm not even going to attempt that. I have a very weak presence. I'm glad someone noticed me. Oh, my team members often don't notice me, even though I'm right next to them. Hey, where are you going in the middle of our conversation? What are you talking about? We're just talking. How can you forget me in an instant? Oh, let's have a battle then. I'll make you remember me. Hey, that's a good line. I'll give him to him. Yikes. Let's go. Sorry, dude. Oh, man, I feel. Oh, this guy. So this guy appears occasionally as well, by the way. He only appears in parking areas. Or let's say you're going up against an opponent you know is going to freaking give you a run for your money. You can come here, and if you don't have a better intake or exhaust or whatever, he'll tune it for you just for the night. After the night's over, yeah, see, there are still areas to refine. I'll let you tweak it a bit. You can get much faster. It's temporary, so it'll effectively last for today. If you want to drive faster than usual for the day, I recommend it. For a fee. It is a steep fee, by the way. A very steep fee. Yeah. Ready? What? Oh, double race. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So sometimes this will happen. You'll get challenged by multiple races at the same time. Love that, dude. That's exactly what I was trying to point out to y'all. Earlier, I had 3 chasing me down. That was pretty fun. They were fast too. Reflections, I'm not too concerned about. I'll turn that down to, and then effects. Shading, I want high. Texture, we'll do high, and then I'll turn this up to 100. I'll do what they call native. Do texture ultra. DLSS seems to be, I went through all of them. FSR, TXA, whatever, TXR. But DLSS, I found works the best. The setting feels good. What do you guys think? I think this is optimal for my computer right now. In conclusion, I will say that a lot of this game is held up by its style and nostalgia. If you're not into the style and you didn't grow up with the game, it's probably gameplay wise for $30 as an early access game, and you're going to get a lot more content as it goes on. I would give this early access launch probably an 8 out of 10. With nostalgia and liking the style, 10 out of 10. There's so much they are doing, 1, 2, 3 person races, parking areas, adding characters, personalities. I'm going to be honest, but for me, growing up with it, I love its style. I love how of personality they give the characters. As weird as it is, I love it. I love every aspect of it. I have not had a 5-hour stream in ages, and it is now 2:45 in the morning, and I don't want to stop, but I can't. I've got to. If you like this content, feel free to come back to my streams live at twitch.tv/Keegbots. Otherwise, subscribe to my YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.